Okay, so in today's session, I'm going to give you a bit of information about Royal Holloway, which is obviously the university that I work for. And then we're going to look at the range of post-16 options that there are, and then make it personal to you and talk about post-16 for me. And then we are going to have a look at some case studies and some examples to try and bring that into you and make it really, really beneficial for you as individuals. So about Royal Holloway, well, let me give you some information about the university first. So contrary to our name, which is Royal Holloway University of London, we aren't actually based in London. This is because, it's a very long history behind it, but we are part of the University of London group. And we're actually based in a town called Egham, which is in Surrey in the southeast of England. If you're not too sure where that is, that's about 40 minutes by train to central London. It's about 19 miles, so very, very close to London. And we're near to towns and villages like Windsor, Englefield Green, Twickenham, Virginia Water, and lots of other really beautiful places. As you can see, we are the top 22nd university in the UK, and 88% of our students were satisfied with their uni experience, which is really, really fantastic. And we'll go through this later, but we've got more than 250 undergraduate courses, so lots and lots of choice. You'll see there on the left a map of our campus university, and if you're not too sure what that is, basically a campus is where all of the buildings that are related to the university are. So they're all in one place. So it's kind of like almost like a mini village really, where you live, study, meet friends and everything. So to put it into perspective, the purple buildings are accommodation, which is where you would stay, and you could choose the type of accommodation that you wanted to live in, modern or old. The blue buildings are academic, so that's where you would study for lectures or seminars or group projects or lab work if you're kind of doing a more hands-on subject. And then the red buildings are social areas, for example, our cafe, restaurants, nightclub, theatre, sports centre, where you would meet other people and have the chance to socialise. Now you can see there that we are really lucky to have lots of beautiful green areas as well. On our campus, we've got a forest, a kind of little ponds and lakes and rivers, and it really is a beautiful campus. But we're also really lucky that we are so near to London too. So it's kind of best of both worlds, really. So what could you study? So I want you to imagine now that you've finished your school career, you've got your GCSEs, you've got your A-levels or your BTEC or whatever it is that you want to do. So what might you do next? Well, one option that a lot of the post-16 options can lead into is potentially going to university. And you would study for a degree at university. Now you can see there that there are 20 departments at Royal Holloway on the left, but I've previously said that we can offer 250 courses. So how does that work out? Well, you could either study something at face value, for example, geography or languages or physics, just as itself, and then you could choose modules to specialise. Or within those 20 departments, you could choose a more specific degree. So for example, if I was to take history, you could just do history, or you could do medieval history or ancient history or a specific type. So you can specialise if you want to as well. Having said that, there are over 30,000 courses available to study for undergraduate degrees in the UK. So there's a whole range of choices. You might want to study something new that you've never seen before, like criminology or psychology or law or midwifery, dentistry, medicine, veterinary. There's just so much choice. I could go on and on and on. Something else that you are able to do when you go to university is that you can combine separate subjects as well if you wanted to. So most people just tend to study one subject, for example, drama or classics, like you can see there. But some people want to do two, and that is called joint honours. And that's what I chose to do actually, because I loved both of my subjects at A-level, and I wanted to carry on with both of them because I knew they would help me with my job as well. So I did English and Spanish, and there's lots and lots of combinations that you could do if that's something that you're interested in. So why might someone go to university? There are lots and lots of benefits of going to university, regardless of the that you take to get there. So why might someone go? Well, the first one is about making new friends. Now, you're probably, have got a good group of friends around you, but they're probably all from the same kind of place. And actually, a really exciting concept is that you get to meet people from all over the country, maybe even all over the world. And we pride ourselves at Royal Holloway in being really diverse and really international. And you might meet people that you would never normally get the chance to meet and make really, really long-lasting friendships. You're going to learn lots of new skills, again, from those people that you meet, from living independently, from the societies you join, and also from your degree. And on that, you're going to become an absolute expert in your area. You're going to study, if you go to university, this subject for at least 3 years, and you're going to become a real expert in that field. With lots of degrees, you can have the opportunity to study abroad. Again, this is something that I did. I didn't study abroad, I actually worked abroad, but lots of universities give you this opportunity, and it's really incredible to go and live in another country like Canada or America, China, Spain, France, Italy, wherever you wanted to go, there's lots of opportunities out there for you. Kind of leading on from that as well, university is all about getting some work experience and preparing you for the world of work. So you might want to do a placement year as part of your degree where you go and work for a company, or you could go and work abroad, like I said before. University offers you many chances as well to do some volunteering, either in the local area, or you could do, say, a trip and go and volunteer abroad. There's lots of opportunities for you to do that. Living away from home is a massive advantage for a lot of people. Some people might want to get as far away from possible as their families and go and live, in northern Scotland. Or some people will think, okay, I want to move a little bit far away, but I still want to be able to pop home at the weekends. Whatever you want to do is absolutely fine. And there's there's so many universities there that you can choose from. And lots of people as well just want to stay at home and commute in, and that's absolutely fine. That is your choice. You get to decide what's most important to you. Now at Royal Holloway, we've got over 110 different clubs and societies, and they range from things like subject-specific clubs, to sports, to music, to arts, to different dramas and types of dancing, and Harry Potter and zombies and loads of different things. There's so many different clubs that you can get involved with, make new friends, and really just have a good time and try things out. The last advantage I want to talk about here is job prospects. So obviously with some kind of jobs like being a doctor or a dentist, you do need a degree in that subject if you want to do that, for obvious reasons. But it's also worth noting that a lot of employers, so a lot of companies and things, will ask for a degree regardless of the subject that it's in to apply to that job, because they want to see that you've got the skills and the kind of the mindset of someone who's been to university. So not for every job, and it's not for everyone, but it is just worth noting that some jobs do ask for a degree. However, university isn't for everybody. So what we're going to do now is look at some of the kind of other routes that are out there and have a look at some of these post-16 options. So these are the main 6 routes that people tend to go down after they finish their GCSEs, and we're going to look at each one of these in more detail as we're going through. I just wanted to bring your attention to these levels here because I'm going to be referring to them as I go on. So the different education levels kind of relate to where you are, and sometimes it's referred to as a ladder, because you can, you start at the bottom and some people choose to go all the way to the top. However, just like a normal ladder, you don't have to go all the way to the top. You can get halfway up and think, yeah, I'm really good here, and that's absolutely fine. So when you've got your GCSEs, you will have a level 1 or level 2 qualification, depending on the grades that you achieve. If you then go on to college or doing an apprenticeship or A-levels, you'll most likely have level 3 qualifications. And then if you want to, you can carry on and go and do a degree at university and go 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can even go to level 8, which is a PhD. However, you don't have to do this. I'm kind of at level 6.5 really, and I am very happy there. I love my job that it's got me. So it's just so that you kind of have an awareness of where you can go if you want to, and what I'm going to be referring to throughout this presentation. So going back to those options, the first one is to do A-levels. Now, most people who do A-levels choose 3 or 4 subjects. A lot of people will choose 4 and then drop one partway through year 12 because it's a lot of work, A-levels, it's very hard, and then they just decide to go ahead with the 3 that they've chosen. Normally A-levels take 2 years and you do them at your sixth form or your local college, and it's a really good opportunity to organise some work experience, normally in year 12 as well, because that's amazing for your CV, and when you apply to college or uni you can say, yeah, this is what I've done. Now A-levels tend to have the kind of traditional exams at the end of them, and the requirements do depend on the course. So it's typically 5 GCSEs, grade 9 to 4, to do A-levels, that normally include English and maths. However, each school will have different requirements, and some subjects, for example, I don't know, my old school, it was Spanish and computer science. You had to have a 6 in that subject to be able to do it. So it's definitely worth checking before you make your decisions. So some examples here, you might do biology, Spanish and psychology, for example. And people that do A-levels tend to normally go on to uni or college or to do an apprenticeship, or you can go straight into work once you've done your A-levels. Something you might not have heard of before is T-levels, and these are fairly new. It's quite a new scheme from the government. They are hoping that by 2023 there'll be 24 T-level courses available for you to do if you want. Well, you can't do all 24, but for you to choose from. So with A-levels you choose 3, but with a T-level you only choose 1. Okay, but it's worth the same. Now T-levels combine classroom learning with industry placements. Okay, so you spend 80% of your time in the classroom learning those skills, and you spend the rest of your 20% of the time on an industry work placement. It's 2 years, just like A-levels, but it's slightly more vocational, which means it's a little bit more hands-on because it prepares you for the workplace. It can lead to the same places, and I'm going to show you some examples now of the T-levels that are available or will be available. So I'll just give you a second to have a look at these. So as I said, these are by the end of 2023, hopefully all of these will be up and running. However, it is worth noting that not every college will offer every T-level. So you need to have a check with your local college if this is something that you're interested in, that actually they will offer a T-level in catering or finance or whatever it will be. Okay, the next route that you might want to do is to do an apprenticeship. And that is the kind of the flip side of the T-level. So we said with T-levels, it was 80% class time, 20% work, whereas an apprenticeship is 80% in the workplace and then 20% in the classroom. So it's flipped around. So with an apprenticeship, you learn the skills that are relevant to a specific job. And I think the main thing with apprenticeships is that you tie yourself into that kind of particular job, really. So for example, if you want to be a chef or a gardener or a carer or something like that, an apprenticeship might be for you because you're set that you want to learn the skills relevant to that exact job. Now, apprenticeships come in a range of levels, so you can go in at a level that's appropriate for you and work your way up if you'd like to. And you are paid a salary, which is obviously a big kind of advantage of being an apprentice. At the moment, it's only £4.15 an hour, but that does go up over time. Excuse me. And apprenticeships normally go on for a year. Apprenticeships are slightly different in that you have to find them and apply to them like you would a job. So it's not like, potentially your school where you might just progress to the sixth form. You need to actually go out there and find it yourself and apply to it and potentially go for interviews and things. It's also worth noting that a lot of employers that normally put out an apprenticeship might not on a year-by-year basis because they might not have the finances for it. For example, they might not need an apprentice. So it's really worth having a look, and I'll show you some websites where you can have a look for that. But the government website is the best for finding an apprenticeship that's near you. A traineeship is a work placement which prepares you for the next step. So this is similar to an apprenticeship, but a lot smaller, and it's mainly for people who aren't quite sure what the next step is for them, and it helps them to normally get onto an apprenticeship. So traineeships are anywhere from 6 weeks to 1 year, and it's a minimum of 70 hours in that work placement. And the rest of your time you spend in a college or in a training centre boosting the other skills, for example, English or maths. So this is not applicable if you've already got the level 3 qualifications, and it can lead on to an apprenticeship. That's the most common kind of instance, more education or work. And you'll notice there that the traineeships tend to be a lot broader than the apprenticeships. So you might want to do one in retail or administration or hospitality, just to prepare you for the next step there. I should mention as well, I kind of forgot to mention this, with an apprenticeship, just go back there. Apprenticeships, now I think there's a bit of an old stereotype with apprenticeships that you just do it and then you go straight to work, but that's changed now. You can obviously complete an apprenticeship and then go and do that job, but you also can improve on the level that you've got, or you can go to university or college with an apprenticeship, do something called a degree apprenticeship as well. So it's there's lots of different routes into uni. Anyway, going back to where I was before, the last two that we're going to look at are qualifications that you might complete at college. So on the left there, you'll see technical and vocational qualifications, and they teach you how to do a task specifically related to the industry and the role that you want to be involved in. So if you look at the orange box, you'll see the examples are floristry, hairdressing, or vehicle maintenance. So that qualification will teach you tasks or how to do the tasks specifically related to one of those jobs, for example. The duration depends on the course, and the level of study is normally 1, but it can go higher as well. And again, that can lead to all different sorts of routes. An applied qualification, on the other hand, is a bit more of a mix of classroom learning as well as those practical skills. And it gives you a much broader overview of working in a particular sector. So if you compare the examples on the left, like floristry, to the ones on the right, you can see that the ones on the right are a lot broader. So for example, travel and tourism, childcare, digital media, IT, etc. The level of study to do an applied qualification is level 3, so it's a little bit higher. And again, the duration depends on the course, and it can again lead to an apprenticeship, going straight into work, or uni or college. Okay, so just to show you some of these websites that I've been talking about, this is the government website, so it's National Career Service. A lot of this you can just find by Googling Post-16 options, for example. This website is, whilst it's not the most beautiful website in the whole world, extremely helpful at giving you all of the information that you need on all of the different routes. And you can see there on the right hand side, there's a telephone number that you can call to speak to an advisor. There's information about bursaries and like financial help as well. So there's absolutely loads on there about what you could do. This one here is from CareerPilot. This is slightly more kind of geared towards choosing your options to help you get the job that you want. But again, loads of information on there, which is really good. This is an example of the local, like my local college, just to kind of show you what a college website looks like. So this kind of shows you how you can filter down your options as well, because sometimes when you look at these websites, there's just so much information, and it's really helpful to filter things down into your subject area or the level that you're interested in, or I don't know, the career pathway that you want to go into, for example. There's loads of information there, and it's just really worth doing a bit of research. You know, even if you're still in year 9, year 10, I know this seems like a long way away, but it is really, really helpful. And obviously, if you're in kind of year 11 or maybe even older, you want to get looking now. This is the UCAS website. So UCAS is the site where you will apply to if you decide to go to university. However, they are amazing at giving you information about other routes, not just university as well. So there's a quiz on there as well about which qualifications would suit you. So there's videos as well, and loads of really personal information that you can use to help you. So I feel like I've talked a lot at you, so I'm going to give you some kind of practical tips now about what you can do to help you choose. So things to consider. The first one is about your future job or career. So what kind of things might you want to do in the future? And would that sway you one particular way? So for example, going back to what I was saying earlier, if you want to be a doctor, you need to go to university. So you're going to have to do those A-levels, you know, probably to get onto that path. So is there something that you want to do and you know that needs a specific kind of route, and if you don't know what you want to do, that's absolutely fine. That's completely normal. Most people don't know what they want to do until they're a lot older, if at all. But just think about what kind of jobs might interest you. You know, what might you want to do, and when you know, things with COVID get a bit more sorted out, can you get a bit of work experience maybe to show you the way? Your learning style. So are you someone that works well in a group, in a kind of a classroom setting, or do you prefer working by yourself, you know, hands-on, manual labour, that kind of thing? In regards to assessment, now I know that I don't think anyone really loves exams, but you know, do you mind exams, or are they really, really not for you and you prefer being assessed through coursework or vocational kind of practical exams? Think about the requirements as well. Are you pitching, yourself to the right level? Is it too high for you? Is it too low for you? What's realistic, basically? You always want to push yourself, but there's no point, pushing yourself too hard, so you're never going to achieve it. And teachers can definitely help you out with that to probably give you some reality if you need it. Personality. So what kind of person are you? What environments do you like to work in? What kind of place do you enjoy working in? What things do you enjoy? We'll get to that in a second as well. Your aspirations, so what do you want from life? What's important to you that you get out of your life? Is it, you want to travel the world, or do you want to earn lots of money? Do you want to help people? Do you want to live in a big city? What is important from you that you get out of your life? And as I said, the most important thing is enjoyment. So you're going to have to get yourself out of bed every morning to do the option that you've chosen. So you need to make sure that you really do love it and you feel passionate about it. I'm not saying that you're going to love every single day of your time at sixth form or college or whatever you do. That's just unrealistic. We all have bad days, but overall you need to enjoy it in yourself. Don't fall down the trap that a lot of people do, where, for example, my parents were desperate for me to take history at A level. I was quite good at it. It was okay. Like, I didn't mind history. But deep down, I knew that I didn't love it. And there's no point taking something that you don't love, because you have to commit a lot to it. So, listen to your own gut instinct and things that you enjoy. Kind of going to the requirements, I think you have to have a level of self-awareness that, yeah, I'm okay at the subject. There's no point taking something that you are absolutely rubbish at. Like, I would have never taken PE because I was useless. But it's that kind of the mix of things that you enjoy and things that you are not quite good at as well. Okay, so we're going to do a little activity so you get a bit of a rest from me talking all the time. So this hopefully will help you to have a think about you as a person and just reflect a little bit on what might be the best route for you. If you already know what you want to do, that's brilliant, but I do still ask you to get involved, because it might, open up some new corridors and give you a bit more information about yourself that you hadn't even thought about. So if you've got a piece of paper in front of you, that's fantastic. What I would like you to do is turn it landscape, like you can see on the example there. And when possible, I would like you to draw a small circle in the middle of that page, please. It's going to be the start of a spider diagram. And I want you to put the word me in the middle, just like you can see. Okay, so what's going to happen is, in the grey box on the right-hand side, 5 different headlines are going to come up, one after the other. And what you need to do when a headline comes up is to draw a line from the circle in the middle and write the headline. Now, it's going to go quite fast, so you might just want to write the key word that's underlined. For example, you can see there, food I like. You might just want to write food, and it's food I like. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and what I want you to do is just to write the words that relate to you for that headline. Okay, so, gun to your head, first things that come into your mind, for example, what is the food that you like? And just scribble it down. Okay, this isn't supposed to be beautiful. No one else is going to see it, just you. So just scribble down your initial thoughts about the headline that comes up. Okay, so for me, I'd be like cheese, pasta, sushi, chocolate, I don't know, risotto, who knows. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. As I said, no one else is going to see this. We're not going to mark it or anything like that. So just don't worry if this is really rough. Okay, it's just to give you some more ideas. Okay, so here's your first headline. So if you just draw a line from the middle and then write the word subjects or subjects I like, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds on the clock starting from now. So just write down any subjects at school that you like. Okay, 5 seconds. Okay, and stop. Hopefully you got a couple down there. Here's your next headline. What I enjoy. Okay, so just write down the phrase enjoy, and I want you to think about anything you enjoy in life. So it doesn't have to be from school, it can be anything, okay? 30 seconds starting now. So this could be cooking, writing, walking the dog, playing Xbox, who knows? Anything you enjoy. Okay, and stop. All right, the next one is jobs that interest me. Okay, so you can just write down jobs. You're going to think of any job that you've ever thought of that might interest you. Okay, off you go. Three, two, one, and stop. Okay, you've got two more, and these ones are slightly more tricky, okay? So your next headline is my personality. Okay, so I'll just give you a second to write down the word personality. This is a bit more tricky, but just think about what kind of person you are. What are you like? Yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Write down any words. What kind of person are you like? Are you funny? Are you hardworking, lazy, chatty, active? Who knows? Okay, and stop there. And your last one now, your skills. Okay, so what are you good at? Off you go. Again, this can be anything that you're good at. It doesn't have to be related to school. It could be cleaning, cooking, netball, I don't know, can't think of anything. First aid, who knows? Anything that you're good at. What are your skills? Maybe talking another language, could be your organizational skills, creativity, anything. Okay, and stop there. Lovely. Okay, so that was obviously a very, very quick activity. You only had 2.5 minutes there to do all of that. So well done. I would not be surprised if you haven't finished. I'd be amazed if you have finished. What I want you to do is just kind of keep hold of this, keep it to yourself, or you can share it with family or friends. It's completely up to you. But I want you to just have a bit of a think about it. And, if you get some time, maybe add some more details to it, because this is really important to reflect about ourselves and think, actually, what is important to me? What do I want? And hopefully this might help you a little bit to decide what the best route is for you. Bearing in mind that mind map that we've just made of the spider diagram, have a think back to these 6 options and just think to yourself, do you have an instinctive pull to one of these options? Is one of them, like a gut feel to you, like, yeah, I really want to do an apprenticeship, or I really want to go and do A-levels? Maybe you have no idea, or maybe this session's confused you even more, and that's absolutely fine. When we have a lot of information, it can be quite overwhelming sometimes, but it's a good thing to have all of the information there, and just know that you can go and speak to someone, like a teacher or a family member or a careers advisor, and they can hopefully help you to see through some of the mist and choose the right option for you as well. And do remember, there's lots and lots of things online to help you as well. Okay, so we're just going to do one more little activity before we're finishing off. So we're going to look at 3 different students who are all just finishing their GCSEs, and they want your opinion basically on what they should do. So I'm going to read out a bit of information about each person, and you're going to tell me A, B or C what you think they should do. So this is Anna. She likes to learn in a classroom. She enjoys reading and writing, and she wants to be a journalist when she's older. So what should Anna do? Should she A, do an apprenticeship in the fire service, B, do A-levels in English, history and media, or C, do an applied qualification in performing arts? What do we think? Do we think A, B, or C? Okay, I'm getting a couple of B's. Got a C. Another C. Okay, lots of B's. Okay, yeah, fab. So B is the most common option, I would say there. And I think you're right, that probably is the best option for Anna. Okay. What about Ross? So Ross wants industry experience, so he wants to work for a company. He enjoys gaming and he wants to be a game programmer when he's older. What do we think? Do we think A, A-levels in sport, computing and German, B, a traineeship in finance, or C, a T-level in digital production, design and development? What is the right choice for good old Ross here? What do we think? Just give you a second to type in your answers. Oh wow, they've come through fast. Okay, so we're getting A, B and C. Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't think we'd get such a mix here. All right. Okay, I'm not going to give you the answer for this one. I'm going to move on. That's the most annoying thing, isn't it, when people don't tell you the answers, but I'll come back. Last but not least, we've got Maddie. Now, Maddie needs a salary. This is important to her. She's got good work experience and she loved it. She loved her work experience and she wants to be an estate agent when she's older. So, should Maddie do an apprenticeship in sales and lettings administration? Should she do a vocational qualification in management? Or should she do a traineeship in animal care? What do we think? Okay, we're getting A, B, A and B. No C's. Oh, the poor animals aren't going to get Maddie's love. Okay, yeah, good. So mainly A's and a couple of B's there. Okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I'm sure most of you are right with Ross back there as well. Obviously, I'm going to say the annoying thing, there is no right answer here, okay? You need to do what interests you and what you feel passionate about. And if you want to go and do a traineeship in animal care, go and do that, okay? No one can tell you what to do. You have to trust your instincts. Obviously, some of these routes that people want to go down do lend themselves slightly better to one route rather than the other. You know, if she wants to be an estate agent, an animal care traineeship is probably not going to be relevant to her. You know, if it were me, I would go for A or maybe B as well. A or B. But at the end of the day, there is no right or wrong answer, and it's really about you and what you think is important, okay? So to kind of conclude before we move on to Q&A, I just want to say thank you first, and I really hope that you have found this useful and that, you know, I've given you lots of information to have a think about, maybe have a chat about with someone else. It is completely normal if you feel even more confused after this session. As I said, sometimes knowing things opens up your brain even more and it's like, oh my goodness, there's so much information. But just speak to someone, okay? Don't bottle it up inside. Chat to someone and say, okay, I think I need to have a look at this a little bit more. I need to do a bit of research, look at some of those websites, etc., etc. Okay, just speak to someone, whether it's a friend, family member, teacher, careers advisor, whatever it's going to be. Okay, it's never too early to do some research as well. Okay, so I'm going to skip past these. And there are a few videos on Royal Holloway, which I will put in the chat if you do want to have a look at them, just to have a bit of a look at what we can offer